In today's Complaint Corner, Justice League. This is Critically Complained. Hi, I'm Adam, and this is Steve, and we're talking Justice League.
Justice League.
Man,
Finally.
it feels like it's been such a long road to get to this
Doesn't it
point and
though?
to finally talk about this
I was
movie.
thinking about that when I sat down, like the preview was starting. Like DC's logo was spinning around. It's like, you know what? This is that movie that was like super hypothetical up until this point, and now I'm here. It was kind of like how you know what? Before we even get into it, it was kind of like how I felt about going to see Avengers, but not really, because when I went to go see Avengers, I was nothing but excited. And when I went into the
Yeah.
Justice League, I was like, please be good, please be good, please be good, please be good, please be
Yeah,
good.
it's so weird how my expectations have changed over the years because when I went to go see Avengers, I was a pure fanboy. Like I was just like, oh my god, ah! I went to see Avengers twice in the opening weekend way back when. I'm not even kidding. Like I saw that movie. Like I love the original Avengers. So to go into this one, all these years later, and to be like, okay, here we go. I It was weird. It was a very weird feeling. But anyway, let's start talking about it. I don't want to
All right.
be mopey or
So,
whatever.
kids at home, we're taking our own advice and we're switching up our formula a little bit here. We're not going to be so structured about it. We're just going to be all see what happens.
We're going to let the conversation flow naturally.
Yes.
No more goods and bads. We're just going to just talk about the movie. So
On that note,
I think, yeah. On that note, I think to start things off, I'll go first. I thought it was okay.
you know what? I'm right there with you.
Yeah,
I thought it was okay.
it's interesting. I've been thinking about this for a few days. It's interesting comparing it to BVS especially because BVS I really feel like Zack Snyder and others, the writers or whatever, but mostly Zack Snyder. I feel like Snyder was really trying to make something he was proud of with BVS. Like I really feel like they were like when they were making that movie, they were trying to make something super artistic and ballsy and different. It didn't completely work, but I kind of appreciated their attempt. You know what I mean?
Sure,
Like
sure.
I appreciated that they were trying to do something so different and genuinely new. And with this film, I don't feel that at all. And don't get me wrong, I did like it, but I really feel like this one, like they were just trying to make a movie everyone would like. You know what I mean? Like it's
Sure.
like all of the mopey, like like freshman level philosophy, all
Right.
that's gone.
Well, I mean, I guess to
like
be
like
fair, they really can't afford to be pulling the auteur card anymore because
yeah.
this was the lowest grossing movie of the DC line so
Yeah,
far.
I thought about mentioning that. Yeah, it's kind of interesting that I actually think that I think this is better than Batman v Superman.
Yeah,
I
I
think
would
this
agree.
is better than Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Uh I mean, that's not saying much, but like I think it's
Hot
interesting that
diarrhea on a sweaty day is better than just fucking Suicide Squad.
this one is better, but I really feel like no one gives a shit anymore.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of sad because I liked the movie and I guess I before I go into other like other thoughts I have in like the generalness. I'm sorry, I sound like a fucking moron right now. I'm just gonna talk about the movie and things I liked about it and things I didn't like about it. I really liked I really liked the team in this movie personally.
Like the
I don't know about
characters
you.
or like the dynamic?
The both
Okay.
actually. I
All right.
liked the characters. I like. It's. I think I'm being a little too positive about it just because was so
Well, that
sick
is your
of
go-to
this.
move.
I mean, I'm always super positive, but like I was just so sick of this super mopey Superman that we've gotten before, of this super dark, like violent Batman that we've gotten. Like the
Yeah,
Wonder
actually, hang on.
other.
While we're talking about it, can I just say
Yeah,
that
no, go
I
ahead.
kind of did like a 180 on my Superman. I actually really enjoy him as Superman now. I think he makes a really
Yeah,
good Superman when he's not trying to be dark Superman.
I agree. I see. I've always thought that he was a good choice to play Superman. I've always thought that the script was holding him back, like all the time. Like he never got like you know that he got less lines in Batman versus Superman than Spider-Man had in Civil War.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
That's
that's a
sad for
thing.
him.
I read that a long time ago, but that's stuck in my brain because like that's okay, I know this is such a simple thing, but if you want me to care about a character, they need to talk. Like, I need to know what's going on in their mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and that's what I liked about this movie. I didn't really like the way that they brought Superman back. I thought it was kind of weird and
That was
lazy.
dumb. But
When he was back, I enjoyed it.
Right.
Like it was.
But okay, you know what?
I don't know.
While we're on the subject of that, bringing Superman back, I'm just gonna dive right into one of the things that I think is the most
Go ahead.
ridiculous about this movie.
All right.
This movie, and by I guess extension, just the plot of Superman the Justice League in general here, is that Superman is the most OP thing in the entire universe. Because basically, they had to contrive a way to kill him and not have him in this movie, in a Justice League movie, for 80 to 90% of it, because he took that guy apart, man. Steppenwolf was like getting his shit rocked by Superman with no effort. If he was in the movie, the invasion would have never happened.
I agree.
Supes would have just shot him into the sun.
It's this awkward thing, and it's one of the problems I've always had with Superman. Because, like, how do you write stories with a character that can, like, especially, like, how do you write stories about a team of superheroes when one of those superheroes is so incredibly powerful that he doesn't need anybody else around?
Right. Well, okay,
you know
that
what I mean?
was kind of the issue they ran into when they were writing the comics back in the day, and they had to actually rewrite him to be weaker. But like, it's not even just that. It's that, like, they've established in universe here that nobody's better than Superman. Like, it's kind of the problem they had with Man of Steel. They basically set him up to be this god allegory, and they have succeeded. Because I felt no threat from this. The second Steppenwolf swung at him, and he just slow-mo dodged that shit with a smirk on his face. Like, okay, well, fight's over. They won. It's just 10 more minutes of dicking around now, because it's over, you know? Which is a shame, because they really, really built up Steppenwolf to be this badass. Like, okay, two of my favorite parts of this movie that I feel like are really out of placely shiny in this relatively gray, pudgy mess is the scene where he comes back and he fights all the Amazons.
Thank you.
Non-stop badassery.
You're talking
my
about...
god. Even the Amazons that lost, still total pros. Super
Dude,
kick-ass.
I loved that
Everything
whole
about
sequence.
That. Everything about that was
shit,
great.
I loved that. When he first comes back and they like, I love the simplicity of that scene. I like it's like, we have this box, we need to not let him get the box. And like they're going to all these extreme lengths, like the one Amazon who like attaches it to a bow and then just shoots it and sends it flying as she's getting crushed to death.
Yeah, oh my god,
it was fucking badass. It was so awesome. I like that's the kind of stuff that I feel like the DC FU, as we've been calling it, has been missing. Like, you just, like, I know it sounds dumb and I know it sounds so trivial, but you need to make things simple. Like that's what you need. That's how you get people invested, instead of having this overly complicated, like, I'm thinking like of Man of Steel, where like, you know, there's like, in order to prevent the world from becoming Krypton, they had to destroy both ships, which are located on opposite sides of the planet. And Superman went to one, but the gravity was really heavy there, so he had to like overcome it through sheer force of will. And meanwhile, the fucking military guys are going over there, and they have to attach a bomb to the thingy that will turn off. Like, it's too complicated.
Right.
It's too much.
Whereas in this one, it's to stop the planet from becoming apocalypse, you got 3 boxes and you pull them apart.
Yeah. And like in that particular sequence with the Amazons, it's just like, this bad dude with the hammer wants this box. We're not going to let him get the box. And then they do all this crazy shit trying to, you know, keep the box moving, keep it going. And I loved it. It was like fucking hot potato, and it was so awesome.
It was. And my other favorite scene, that another reason shows how badass Steppenwolf was, and then how immediately underwhelming he is versus Superman, is the flashback scene where they went back to the beginning there, where it was like all the tribes of men all the gods of all the pantheons and invaders from and allies from space, which was goddamn Green Lantern. And oh my god, I was so excited they had to call the manager on me because my turgid erection was blocking the screen.
Oh,
I was
God.
so excited to see Green Lantern.
You know,
in this
I gotta
movie.
tell you, when I was watching this movie and the Green Lantern scene came on, I turned to Ash, my fiance, who was sitting next to me, and I was just like, "Steve is gonna love
And
this."
he did. Oh my god! For the
Like,
glorious
oh my God.
second he was on screen, and then he died, and then the ring flew off, and it was like, oh, yes.
Yeah, that
I
was
mean,
really. I liked that. I liked
I
it too.
feel okay. Now, what chived my spuds about it is I'm pretty sure that was Evan Sur, who is the Green Lantern that was the Green Lantern of section or the
Oh, but
Hal
like
Jordan
before,
section of space.
I can't believe I know that only because of the shitty Green Lantern movie, but I do.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
yeah, but Hal Jordan actually finds him dead, so that's how he
Oh,
gets
okay.
the ring. I mean, this was 5,000 years ago, but that doesn't matter at all. It just that kind of bugged me that was him. But also, I thought I saw Black Adam there, and I was like, oh my
Yep.
god, yes! I think it was Zeus though. I just saw lightning bolts.
I think it was Zeus actually.
But like
And
that was so.
I thought it was
kick-ass. It took me-
Shazam. I thought it was Shazam for a second. I was just like, holy shit! Did I just see Shazam? No, it was. I'm pretty sure it was Zeus.
Well,
And I think
yeah.
Hercules might have been there. I'm not entirely.
There was
sure.
a
I have to
shirtless
watch
guy. It
again.
wasn't clear who that was
Yeah.
supposed to be, but I mean, they
Um,
zoomed in on him like we were supposed to
yeah.
know, but I didn't know who it was. But
me
anyway,
neither.
that scene was so amazing, and it's like, oh my
Yeah.
god, this guy is such a threat. It took actual, literal gods, like all of them, just to fight this guy, and then Superman just kicks his ass, you know? Like,
I agree.
he's a new
while
god,
we're-
which are
while
supposed to
we're
be
on
stronger
the
than the old
subject-
gods, you know?
While we're on the subject of Steppenwolf, I thought
Oh, hang on,
a lot
really
of
quick. Dude, I would
Yeah, go
watch
ahead.
the shit out of that movie about the war. Like all the different gods and humans and
Oh
I
yeah,
would
like
totally
the
watch
ancient
that
shit.
movie.
Oh dude,
Where is
sounds
that
awesome.
film at?
God, that sounds good. I was going to say though that while we're on the subject of Steppenwolf, a lot of people I've seen on like reviewers and online have been like shitting on him, like on Steppenwolf, and saying that like, oh, he's so underwhelming. And while I agree to an extent that he's not like a Loki or anything, like he's not a particularly memorable villain or anything, I thought he was serviceable. I thought he was
Yeah,
perfectly
I would
fine.
agree.
He-
I would agree.
He's the warm up round.
Basically,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? Like
He's just
like,
the herald,
He's
you know?
supposed to be. Yeah, he's supposed to be somewhat underwhelming. He's the guy who, like, you know, Batman and co. can only barely, you know, deal with, and then Superman shows up and completely wrecks his shit.
Yeah, before Darkseid
Uh,
shows up and ruins
Before
everyone's day.
Darkseid, exactly.
Yeah.
Like he's meant
For
to be a
Darkseid.
precursor. He's meant to be a precursor for Darkseid. So like I don't understand why people are so complaining about
I mean,
how underwhelming
okay,
Steppenwolf
people
is
are-
because he's underwhelming by design.
Yeah, I
like
think
that's
you're right.
intentional. I think to a certain extent. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
no,
Like,
I agree. I feel like he was given. I mean, they didn't really characterize him, for example.
Yeah.
But they didn't need to because his existence is basically just like what you were saying. Like, you can barely beat me, and I'm tier 2. You know, just wait
Yeah.
till the pro league gets
And
here.
if I'm being completely honest, like people are bitching about like, oh, he was such a you know underdeveloped villain, blah blah blah
He
blah
doesn't need to
blah.
be complex.
I would much rather they spend time fleshing out the heroes that we barely know anything about,
Yeah.
than spend time fleshing out a villain who's gonna be gone by the end
Yeah,
of the
who's
movie.
presumably killed by parademons.
Like he's not meant to be important. He's meant to be like this generic villain they can fight. I don't care about him. I care about the heroes, and that's what the movie focused on, and that's what I wanted to fucking see.
Basically,
I
yeah.
wanted like I don't understand why everyone's so like gung ho about hating on Steppenwolf. Yeah, I mean I don't like him very much either, but I don't want to like him is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
I don't have any interest in learning more about Steppenwolf. He doesn't matter. He's not important, and I'm glad they didn't focus on
Would
it.
you like to know more about Steppenwolf?
Not really.
Okay.
I don't. I read a little bit about it. I read that he was a new god or something.
Yes.
I don't.
He's from
I
New
read
Genesis.
about him. I read about it, and then it went through one eye and it came out the other eye. Like it was just, it's like the ear thing. Like
Okay.
I was like, oh, that's interesting, and then I completely forgot about
Yeah,
it.
he's not particularly exciting. The son you care about is Orion, and that's, you know, yeah.
I repeat, I don't want to care.
Okay.
Like, I'm not interested. You know what I mean?
No, that's
like,
fine.
like
That's
at
fine.
least
He's
at
never
least
coming
in
back
terms
again.
of
He doesn't matter at all.
in terms of this movie, like I would actually be kind of interested if like in the sequel, which I hope we still get because this movie absolutely fucking bombed at the box office, which is too bad. But I hope we do get a sequel, and I hope that in like the very first scene we see Steppenwolf all like fucked up and like with it missing his helmet, like standing in front of Darkseid, and Darkseid just fucking like kills him.
See, I
Like,
would have
just,
actually
like,
done that in this movie as the after credits scene, you know? Like they drop him off in front of the throne room over and he's like,
okay,
Father,
so-
forgive me, and then just Omega Beams just fucking vaporize him.
Yeah, I kind of would have liked that. Also, I have a small confession. So, I knew there was an after credit scene to this movie,
There's two.
but I did not know that there was two. I looked it up later, but when I was seeing the movie, I had to pee so freaking bad by the end of the movie that I made it through the first after credit scene, and I was like, all right, that's it, and I ran out of there. And then I later found out, oh shit, there was another after credit scene, and it was a really, really important one, and I was like, shit, like no, why did they do this to me? So yeah, I know that like Deathstroke or not. Yeah.
Yes, Deathstroke.
Yeah, Deathstroke, and Lex
They're
Luthor
making
are
the
there.
Injustice League.
Yeah, the Legion of Doom.
Yes.
Or whatever.
Well, he said
which is
League,
cool.
so Injustice League, I assume. But they haven't actually referred to themselves as Justice League in universe yet, so you know.
Yeah, I don't think they did.
I don't think that
anyways.
would really fit in the world they're crafting. The Justice League is a little bit too Saturday morning cartoon for the world they're trying to create.
I mean, this movie kind of felt like a Saturday morning
I know,
cartoon
but they
to
kind
a
of have
certain
the
degree.
stigma of the other movies on there. They're gonna have to work a lot harder to shrug that off before they can go around calling themselves the Justice League
Whoa,
or the Super
another
Friends.
another scene I really want to talk about. That a scene that I absolutely loved. I loved the scene where Superman first wakes up and then he fights the rest of the league.
Yep.
I thought that was so
Just another reason why he's so much better than them, and they were just all of them were just getting their shit rocked, which was
specifically the part of that I loved more than anything else was the Flash. When the Flash is zooming around him, and then suddenly Superman just turns towards him, and it's just like, oh shit! Like, that was so awesome. I loved it. Oh my god. Like, I got like a nerdgasm all over the fucking place when I saw that. Like, oh my god. I the more I talk about this movie, I feel like the more I like it, which is really weird given the way that this movie is being like shat on all over the place online.
Okay, I think that it had. I will fully admit to really enjoying a lot of parts of it.
Yeah.
As a whole, I think it averages out to okay, but there's a lot of parts of it that are just like, yes, more of that, please.
It's less than the sum of its parts.
Yeah,
basically.
which is unfortunate.
Like there are a few key scenes and key moments here and there that are really enjoyable and cool, but when you take it all together, it's just kind of
which
meh.
actually kind of brings me to something else I wanted to talk about this thing. So this is our first introduction to actually the characters of Flash, Cyborg, and Aquaman.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, I'm gonna be honest. I really enjoyed Aquaman for what we saw of him. Cyborg was palatable. I mean, he wasn't offensive. He didn't do anything. He said booyah, which I found a little disgusting, but
I loved that he said booyah, but I actually, before you go any further, I enjoyed Cyborg much more than I thought I would.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, he's perfectly acceptable. It's just, I mean, I wasn't wowed by him or anything.
Yeah, me neither, but
you know, he didn't take away from the experience for me. I was perfectly content having Cyborg there. The one that kind of did it in for me was Flash. I didn't care for the portrayal of Flash.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's just a personal thing. I mean, he wasn't wrong or anything. It's just like a personal thing, I guess. I would have rather him been like wide-eyed, beginner, eager to please, you know, kind of thing. But inexperienced rather than like this, like, socially inept guy we got instead, you know? Like he did the bit about brunch, and I sat there and I thought to myself, this is probably a joke, but it's not. I don't feel like it's a joke. It just tastes weird, you know?
You know, I do know what you mean, and actually I think this is a good point to bring up something I don't think we've ever talked about on the show before, because we were on hiatus when all of it was going on. But do you know about the Joss Whedon thing? Do you know about that?
I know who he is. Can you be more
Okay,
specific?
yeah, okay. So Zack Snyder obviously directed this movie, and then right in the middle of post production, he had a terrible family tragedy that we never talked about because we were not around at that time. Uh, the short version is his daughter committed suicide, which
Okay.
was obviously this huge thing, and because of that, he left post production to go and be with his family, and Joss Whedon came in to not only finish post production but also to direct the reshoots of the film. And they were extensive reshoots of the film. WB was trying to kind of course correct a bit and kind of clean up after Zack Snyder's kind of mopey mess that he made. And it's awkward for me to make fun of Zack Snyder immediately after talking about what I just talked about, but I have a lot of respect for Zack Snyder. I just want to preface this. But I also think that his tone does not fit well in this fledgling universe they're trying to create. Anyway, so because Joss Whedon directed the reshoots, there was a lot of added jokes and like added scenes that didn't really fit very well with the rest of the movie, and it was kind of weird.
Okay,
And specifically,
that
that
explains a lot because there were a lot of times where okay, when I don't know if you ever like watched a movie and you just kind of sat there and you're not like in the experience, you're just kind of watching it unfold and you're
yeah,
like feeling a little confused.
it's like waves passing.
Yes, yeah, it's like it's
I
happening to
can't even
somebody else.
speak.
That's what happened when I
Yeah,
was watching a lot of this. Like, okay, directly after that Superman scene where he totally kicks the JLA's ass
I
and
know what you're gonna say.
and Batman's on the ground. Is it that one?
Yep. Yes, that's the
And I'm
one.
like,
That awkward thing
yeah,
where he's just like, "Yep, I'm bleeding."
yeah.
Yeah, that was a reshoot scene, and so was the brunch scene. They
Okay.
added on an extra little bit at the end of the scene that Zack Snyder filmed to give it more of a punchy joke.
Well, that was the
Uh,
wrong call. But okay. But
yes, it
anyway,
was.
so back to what I was talking about.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Flash
Sorry.
was the one that I didn't care for the most. But I can understand what they were going for with him, and that's fine. You know, it's whatever about that. But the thing that kind of bugs me about this is that I felt like there needed to be more movie. I'm not saying we needed an origin movie for all of these people, but it really felt like Cyborg, we didn't need one really. What we had here was sufficient for his openings, I suppose. Flash is
Yep.
established to have already been in the world, I guess. But
Sort
Aquaman
of.
needed a movie because
I
of one
agree.
particular scene that I feel like is probably chopped all over the cutting room floor by the time we actually got it. But I just like, okay,
The
so
scene with Mira, his
yes,
wife,
yes.
but not really.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that one.
he goes down to Atlantis, which we had never seen before or interacted with any Atlanteans before. He
Yep.
fights Steppenwolf for a bit there. Steppenwolf steals the mother box, and then Mira shows him. She's like, "Hey, you're the son of the royal bloodline, right? But we've never met before." And he's like, "Yes." But fuck my mom,
Yeah.
right? And he's like, "How dare you?" Or she's like, "How dare you?" And he's like, "Okay." And then she's like, "Okay, but you need to go fight the guys now." And he's like, "Okay, but I need a thing from you first." And then it's never established what that thing is. We are led to
I
believe
think
that it is the trident,
yeah,
but it
it's
is
the
not
trident and the
explained
armor.
what is special
Yeah.
about the trident, like the fact that it's literally magic and literally Poseidon's trident, or the fact that only the bloodline of the royal family can touch it. That's also never
See,
mentioned.
I didn't know any of that.
Yeah, because
shit.
that was not mentioned to you. He just said,
Yeah,
"I need something," and then
I completely
maybe he
agree.
wanted a blowjob. I have no idea. It's never expressed. I mean, he probably did, but
I need something. The Brazzers logo
Yeah.
appears in the corner. Oh,
I mean,
God,
they opened up
sorry.
an air pocket. You might as well, but I
Yeah,
mean, it's
right?
just like it's awkward, you know, because it's kind of like we know nothing about this guy other than he is here and that he gives fish to like a village in the middle of bumfucking nowhere for no reason.
Yeah,
And
I'm really confused about Aquaman in this
yeah,
universe.
they don't even
Like,
touch on the fact that he's only half Atlantean. It's kind of
They
implied.
sort of talk about
Yeah,
it. I see.
it's a little implied by the fact that he got ditched by his mom to live with his dad, but even then, it's not like his dad was explicitly said to be human. You know,
Yeah,
it's
it's weird the way they did it. Like, it's like they expected us to know Aquaman's story already.
right.
And like I feel like this movie genuinely this movie functioned as though we did already have an Aquaman movie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It really did, because I mean,
But,
if it wasn't for the
like
if it wasn't for the throwaway line that Mira had never met him before, I would have just assumed that he'd spent his entire life in Atlantis by this point. You know?
Me too. And I think it's really weird. So like we know that he has powers. We know that he has been giving fish and shit to this one what's the town or whatever for a long time.
Yep.
We know that, but we also now know that he's never been to Atlantis and he's never met Mira.
Yep.
And his mom abandoned him, presumably to a human father, which I didn't know going in. And so, like, what's he been doing all this time?
Just dicking around, apparently.
Just dicking around.
Yeah, getting
like,
drunk on a
being
pier.
This weird fish person. Like
jamming out to classic 80s rock while he walks down a pier.
While we're at it, how did he even know how to get to Atlantis?
Maybe he asked a fish.
I guess. No, he asked the water.
Yeah, because he doesn't talk to
whatever.
the... Fuck you, movie. He talks to the fish. Fuck you. That's stupid. Just let him talk to fish. What's more upsetting about that? Just let him talk to the fish, you know? Or at least say, I command the fish. I don't talk to the fish, you know?
I don't know. Like, the whole I really... Like, as much as I liked Aquaman in this movie, and I liked everything I got, but I feel like we should have gotten a shit ton more with him.
Yeah, I feel like there's an extended version out there somewhere where he, says, I need something from you, and then they walk into a throne room where a thing is sitting, and she says, here's your throne, you can take it, and he's like, it's not for me. I'm not a whatever, but I'll take this because, I don't know, fuck you.
That's another thing that I should probably mention is that apparently this movie, like Snyder's original cut, was like 2 hours and 40 minutes. And
where did 40 minutes of content go?
Yeah, what the fuck did you do? Like, how did you cut out that much shit?
Did you accidentally highlight something on the wheel and hit delete and just say, whatever?
I understand that they did reshoots, and so I'm sure that a lot of the stuff that he shot was simply just redone in a slightly different way.
Yeah.
That was probably significantly
but still,
shorter. But how do you even manage that?
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea.
That's at least, some plot. Reshoots or no, there was an idea on screen that didn't happen.
I mean, if you go back and look at, like, some of the old trailers, there's a bunch of scenes that are not in the movie. Like, do you remember that one point where Cyborg's, face gets, like, a full plate over it? You remember that shit?
Kind of.
Like, there's this one point, like, it's one of the early trailers where, like, Cyborg is flying, and then, like, he gets, like, this, like, a full, like, mask over his face. He looks kind of what's the, who's the guy? Not Deathstroke. Actually, a little bit of Deathstroke, but, the one who shoots guns, the one who's played by Will Smith. What the fuck is his stupid name? Deadshot, thank you. I knew it was
with his. You mean like his mask thing, right? Okay.
Yeah, he had this weird mask thing, like Cyborg did in this one trailer, but we never saw that in the movie. And there's a bunch of other scenes too, that I can't remember all of right now. I was just reading an article about it. And basically, there's a shit ton of stuff that they cut out, and all I can say is why. This movie was short as is. There's no reason you couldn't have at least left like 20 extra minutes in it.
Yeah, you really could have benefited from some extra time there.
Like, flesh out things. Like, I would have absolutely loved if Aquaman could have had just a little bit more time so I could understand what the fuck is his story. Like,
yeah.
I feel like I don't know anything about him. Like there's so much backstory with him that I haven't been given, and now we're sitting here trying to piece it all together, and it's stupid.
Okay, because all right. And another thing about Aquaman, that this is like really not important, but it took me until probably the last 10 minutes of the movie to realize he was wearing the actual like official Aquaman costume. With like the big A on his belt, and stuff, with the orange scale shirt and the green pants. I couldn't tell.
See, I noticed it right
I couldn't because he was all in trademark DC movie brown, so I couldn't tell what the hell was going on with that. But I was like, oh, he's wearing his costume.
This movie's better at having more color.
I mean, like, it's Superman, a little better at it. Like Flash's colors weren't that washed out,
Yeah. And Wonder Woman is much more colorful than she. I mean, do you remember what she looked like in BVS?
Yes.
Like, Wonder Woman looked like she like they just smeared her outfit in poop and just like, all right.
Yeah, actually, hang on a minute. Wonder Woman. Let's talk about Wonder Woman here. So It took all the gods from all the pantheons to beat this guy the first time around, and Wonder Woman is holding her own. And from our understanding, she's just a demigod, not even a whole one. She can just do that
Yeah.
arm clapping thing that makes the sonic waves, which is a weird thing to have, whatever, but we touched on that
Yeah,
already.
whatever.
But how is it that she was capable of putting up any kind of fight? Are we just trying to make it so that our heroes stand a chance against this superior foe? Kind of feels like it.
Well, that was kind of like a plot point of the film. Is like, all this huge alliance between men and space aliens and Atlanteans and Amazons. Like, this huge alliance was barely able to stop him before.
Yep.
And now we're all that's left. The 5 of us are the only people who are even kind of capable of dealing with this.
And I get that, but it was very strictly established that part of those people were the gods, and she is lesser than a god, except she killed one, but that's not the point. But if she's only, even if we put her at the power level of a god, she is but one, and there were quite a few necessary. So I'm just kind of wondering why it is.
Keep in mind, I mean, when she was first fighting Steppenwolf, she wasn't exactly winning.
No, but
she was holding her own for a
really
bit.
Either. You know, it was kind of a tie
but
there.
I feel like if that fight had gone on long enough, I feel like he probably would have won.
Well,
like,
all right,
I don't.
guess.
Maybe, I don't know for sure.
It's not clear, but you know,
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It's that's one of the things that kind of bugged me. But yes, more Aquaman, please, because I liked the parts of him that I got, but he was not explained. They did not waste any time explaining anything.
I think it's safe to say at this point, like, people defended DC's approach to this universe for such a long time, saying, "Oh, it'll all make sense in Justice League. Don't worry about it. It'll all make sense at the end." Now that we've seen the final product, I think it's safe to say that DC's decision to introduce 3 of these team members, like, basically introduce them in one movie, was a bad decision. I think
I would
there isn't
say
a lot
that
of debate.
It was a bad call.
And oh god, the more I think about it, the more I'm bothered by it.
No, I understand why they thought they'd do it, and they thought they could get away with it, like, from a narrative perspective. I know why they did it the way they did, but I mean,
I understand.
Just stagger. That's all I'm saying. Just stagger it out.
I understand what they're trying to do. I know that they were trying to get to the team up movie as quickly as possible. I get that, but, like, we had 4 films before this, and only 3 of them mattered, and one of them introduced a major character, and then the next immediately following that one, well, actually that's not technically true, but the next one after that was a prequel film just about that character.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with this universe? Like, okay, you've got Man of Steel. Man of Steel is a perfectly fine introductory point. The film itself isn't that great, but let's just ignore that for now. Let's just talk about what it contributes to the universe.
Sure.
It's fine. Introduces Superman to the world, not only introduces us to Superman, but introduces the world in universe to Superman. So, thumbs up from me. That's a perfectly fine starting point. Next up, we've got Batman vs. Superman, which is a fucking train wreck, to put it mildly, but also tries to do so much at one time. It tries to be a Superman sequel. It also tries to be a Batman movie. It also tries to be a team-up movie. It also tries to be a fight movie. It also tries to be a Wonder Woman introduction, but not really, movie. All at the same time.
Movie.
Oh, yeah, and the Death of Superman movie. Oh, almost forgot about that one. Like, what the fuck is your thought process to it? Like, you introduce a character, and then in the very next film, like a major character, you kill him off. Like, why? What's the point of that? And then, up next, we've got Suicide Squad. Generally speaking, the less said about Suicide Squad, the better. But let's just think up for a second about what Suicide Squad adds to the universe. Basically nothing. It introduces a bunch of villains that are in no way important to the Justice League. Not even a little bit.
Not even remotely impactful in any kind of way.
Not even kind of. They didn't even mention them. So what was the point of even making a fucking Suicide Squad movie? At least if I were to compare it to Marvel, at least Marvel, when they did the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, which was completely separate from the rest of that shit, It wasn't actually, because Guardians of the Galaxy introduced one of the Infinity Stones, which was a major plot element for the future, and Guardians of the Galaxy are going to meet the Avengers in Infinity War. So technically, even though Guardians of the Galaxy the film just by itself is completely isolated, it's not really. It's setting things up for the future down the line. What the fuck does Suicide Squad set up? Are we gonna have the Squad go up against the Justice League?
Fuck
Good
no.
fucking luck. Like
Get
how
him,
the
Captain
fuck is that
Boomerang.
gonna work?
Oh.
Like literally, how though? Like what is the purpose of Suicide Squad? And then we've got the Wonder Woman film, which is a good film, but really should have come before Batman versus Superman. What was the point of introducing us to a character and only a character that most general audiences know absolutely nothing about, and just have her be around for a good chunk of the movie and then show up at the end in the big climactic fight, which we have no emotional investment in because it was just this new villain they threw out of nowhere, and then do her origin movie. Why? Like everything about this universe feels poorly planned to the point of it being a parody. like this doesn't, like, no person could have thought that this was a good idea unless they were like on cocaine.
Yeah, actually, to build off of that excellent synopsis you just made, Wonder Woman did a prequel sequel after her introduction, quote unquote, movie, but Aquaman can't do that because he's never been to Atlantis before.
Yep.
So it has to be after this. So he doesn't get his introduction movie until it takes place after the movie he was actually introduced in. And that's just
don't get me wrong,
all around.
I mean, that can work. I think of
but
I'm thinking of Spider-Man, the way that they did it in the MCU. Like, they have Spider-Man be in Civil War as basically a glorified cameo, and then they have him do his origin movie, but it is set after Civil War. Like, it's a sequel. It's not a prequel.
I will stipulate the point that that's actually a good parallel, but I would like to offer the alternative, or the flip side of that coin, wherein Spider-Man is established to have been Spider-Man in New York by that point, whereas Aquaman has never been to Atlantis. So we can't just go back to the world of him in Atlantis, because he's never been there. And I'm sure in his movie he'll have to fight Ocean Master for the throne, but,
the other thing, I was using that as a counterexample, but the biggest difference between the way that Marvel handled Spider-Man and the way that DC is handling Aquaman is that people know about Spider-Man's origins. Like, we've already had 5 films and 2 origin stories, and that's just counting live-action feature films. If we're including comics and animation, like, we've seen Spider-Man's origins like a dozen times. So you don't need to have an origin film. You can just have him show up in Civil War, and most people will understand at least enough to get by. But Aquaman is not that kind of character. Most people, like myself, know almost nothing about him. So when he just shows up and he's just like, I'm gonna need to borrow something from you, only comic fans are gonna know what the fuck he's talking about. I didn't even know what he was talking about. I just guessed he was referring to the suit and the trident. I didn't know the significance of what those things do or are. I just know that they were there later, and he was using them to fight and stuff.
Right,
so,
yeah.
Okay.
And like you were saying about the origins, like, the only people who, outside of comic book readers, who would have any introduction to Aquaman's origins would be the people who watched the Justice League cartoon, where we got to see Hookhand Aquaman, the worst Aquaman. And it's like that's people's introduction to the character is. And they didn't really even introduce them. That's just the Justice League went down there once to deal with some shit because he came to the surface and was like, "Hey, stop fucking around up here." That was our introduction to Aquaman. Just like it was in this one, it was just equally stupid. Okay, hang on. Actually, 1 second. While we're on the trident, does it bother you that he always holds it upside down? It always bothered me. It's always fork end down, and I don't get it.
I didn't even notice it, to be honest.
He stands there with it like aimed at the ground, and it's like
That's bizarre. That's not how he should do that.
Yeah, I guess it's
That's
for
dumb.
purposes of throwing, because it's more
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a javelin, so yeah,
I,
that's how you would hold
I
it. But yeah, that's kind of weird.
yeah, but
I don't like that.
all pictures, all whatever, it's always hook eye side up. It's I don't know. That's just weird to me. I don't know why it's weird.
Yeah,
It's just weird.
I don't like that.
It's also not a trident,
Uh,
strictly speaking, because it's got 5 points. It's a
like I
pendant.
really I really feel like I'm just kind of talking about the universe in general right now. I really feel like this universe just needs to get back to basics. Okay? Don't try to be like this weird, super creative, like, oh, we're gonna introduce a character and then do their origin prequel film later. Oh, we're gonna introduce three of the most important characters in this universe in the team up movie. Like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, don't get creative here, guys. Like, let's
Yeah,
just
you really
like
can't afford it.
you can't do it. You can't. And if there's anything we've learned is that this approach didn't fucking work because this film is going to lose them so much fucking money. Oh, and this is something I should have mentioned before and I forgot to. So, not only did this film bomb at the box office, it only made like 94 million at the US box office, which is astoundingly bad. That's less than Iron Man made back in 2008. And that was like before the MCU had even begun. That was the first movie, and that movie made more money in its opening weekend than this movie did. And this movie has had 4 films of buildup. Anyway, not only that, but this film is tied for the second most expensive movie ever made.
Wow,
Yes.
that
Yes.
sucks.
This movie and Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End are tied for the second most expensive film ever made. And there's a lot of reasons for that. There's the expensive reshoots. There's the ridiculousness. Did you notice anything up with Superman's face in the movie?
Uh, like it. I mean, like what?
Like, did his face, specifically his lips, look weird
You
at
know
times?
what? I I did think something was off about his face, but I couldn't explain it.
Do you want to know why?
Please tell me why.
It's because remember those reshoots I mentioned
Yeah.
before? When they were doing those, he had a mustache that he was contractually obligated to keep that like he couldn't shave off, so they digitally removed his
Oh my-
mustache after the fact
For fuck's
with
sake.
CGI. Yes. Yes.
Wow.
That's how fucking stupid this is. Like, and which is an exceedingly costly, time-consuming process.
Why
They
did he have
only
to?
had like
Okay, what did he have to keep the mustache for? What, like a different movie or
Mission
something?
Impossible 6. Yeah, another movie. He was filming another movie, Mission Impossible 6.
Ugh. Oh,
Yes.
God.
Yes, they had to do that. And so the expensive reshoots, Zack Snyder leaving halfway through, Joss Whedon coming in, removing his goddamn mustache, all of that made this the second most expensive film ever. And it made like a tenth of its budget. Okay, not that. Okay, it's less. Like I think its budget was like 300 plus million. So like a little over 300 million.
So it made a
And
third.
it made a third of that. But that doesn't factor in the cost of marketing, and marketing is a huge thing, which is usually about half of what you spend on the movie you spend on marketing.
Oof.
So that's
Ooh.
$450 million they spent on this movie, and they've made back internationally about half of that. And it's not gonna be good for them. It's not. Opening weekend is the most important weekend. It's not. Almost no movies ever go up after the opening weekend.
Yep.
So like it's all downhill from here. If they're lucky, they will make back 2/3 of the amount of money they spent on this movie.
Damn. That is.
Yes.
That is ice cold, man.
It's like to say that this film is a failure is not. It cannot be overstated. like and I liked it. That's the thing that sucks the most about this. I thought this film was okay.
Yeah,
but
it's
most
got potential
people
for maybe in 4 or 5 more of these they'll have it right.
Yeah, right? God. I feel so bad for this whole thing. Like, it's so awkward, and, like, I wanted to love this movie, but I ended up just liking it, and it's going to... And I can't in good conscience say, yeah, go see this movie, because it's just like, I mean, if you want.
I'm not gonna tell you what to do. Okay,
I mean,
I
yeah.
suppose the recommendation that we could give without feeling too bad about it or feeling disingenuous is go see this movie if seeing all superhero movies is important to you,
Hmm.
or go see this movie if you really desperately want to help fund the next one because they're gonna have to make another one, you know.
Yep.
And that'll be it. That's the last one. I feel like they're gonna. I don't know. I can't confirm it, but I feel like in the next couple of years, if they're still doing this, we're gonna see some serious shifts in their calendar about what gets made. Because I don't think they're
I
gonna
agree.
waste time with any of the
Yeah,
non.
I think it's interesting, like leading up to this movie that they were like, remember all the shit that they were announcing?
Yep.
Like they're making 2 Joker
Yep.
movies, and they're making a Wonder Woman 2,
Yep.
and
Yep. 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 Yep.
Aquaman,
Yep.
and
Yep. Yep.
Batman, and Superman 2, and a Flashpoint movie.
See, if any of those things get made, it's just gonna be main continuity ones. No side projects anymore. It's only gonna be things that affect Justice League 2 plot. And if they make it Justice League 2, I feel fairly confident in saying that that will be it. If that movie blow does not blow them out of the water, if that's not like the most
Yeah, if it
successful
doesn't
thing
make
they've
them
done,
money.
they're done. That's
Yeah.
it. Finito.
I tend to agree. And it's really, I think there are a few films that they've already had in the works that are definitely going to be made. Like Aquaman has already filmed, so
Well,
they're
yeah, that
definitely
one's
going to release Aquaman because otherwise they spent all this money filming this movie.
And shit, I'll go see Aquaman.
Yeah, I'll go see Aquaman too. And like they're not going to cancel it because it's already been made basically. And the other one that hasn't started filming yet but is I think it's going to start filming very soon, and they've already done casting and contracts and all that, is Shazam. I think that Shazam is definitely happening
Yeah.
because it's like already in the works, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But everything else is completely up in the air.
Totally under question. I
only
don't know
thing-
if they can afford to make even sequels of things anymore. Like
I'm
Superman
not
2
entirely-
or Batman or Wonder Woman 2. I don't know if they're going to make any of those things because they
I
might not
think
have the money
Wonder
for it.
Wonder Woman, I think they're totally gonna make just because of the huge success that was the Wonder Woman movie. Like that movie made fucking bank. It made like 5 times its budget.
Oh, well,
so
good.
like like it made a shit ton
hope,
of
I
money.
guess.
So like I think Wonder Woman 2, Aquaman and Shazam are almost guaranteed to come out because they're already in the
Oh
works.
God, Adam! I just
I
thought
think
of something.
what?
I'm not going to get my Green Lantern movie.
Oh hell no! You're not gonna get your Green Lantern movie.
Ah!
Like
Life is
the
not
only
fair,
one-
Adam. You
I
can't
think we're
just
gonna get-
dangle that shit in front of me and give me green balls and then be like, nope.
Hey man, sorry, you should have brought all of your friends to go see it with you.
Oh,
I think Batman's probably gonna get made
probably, yeah.
because you've got a pretty high profile actor in the lead role, and you've got a pretty high profile
Ew, but
director
that means,
directing
like,
the film.
Joker's probably going to be the villain. Ew.
Ooh. Ooh. Actually,
Reconsider that.
I think Deathstroke is probably the most likely scenario, especially since they had him be in
Yeah.
Justice League.
Yeah,
at
all
the
right,
end
fine.
there.
Maybe Deathstroke. I could live with that, I guess. Never
Did he
been
look
a
good?
Deathstroke fan, really.
Did he look good? I didn't get to see the stupid scene, so I just read about
all
it.
right,
I don't actually know.
Okay, you ever play Metal Gear Solid 4?
A little bit.
You remember Old Snake?
Yeah,
that?
I remember. Yeah, I'm okay with that. That sounds
That's
about
basically
right.
what he looks like. I mean,
That's
didn't
what
look
he should look
bad.
like,
He looked
right?
pretty good with the costume on. That looked all right. It's when he took off the
All right.
mask, it was kind of like,
Oh, he had
put
the
your
mask?
back on.
That's cool. All right.
Yeah, he had the one eye mask. Yes.
Nice.
I mean,
I hate myself for not fucking seeing that stupid scene.
You didn't really miss much. It was just Lex Luthor sitting on a boat saying, "Hey, they're making a Justice League or a league. We should have a
They're
league of
making a
our own."
league.
Movie quote,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
that was
right.
meant to infer that.
Also, did he have his hair shaved?
Yes,
or
he
not?
was shaved. He was bald.
Good. It's such a stupid minor thing, but Lex Luthor should have a shaved head. Like God.
Actually, you know what?
shits.
You want to talk about the Injustice League really quick?
Sure.
Who do you think of our existing cast is going to get a slot in the in Justice League, because I'm
Oh
sure they're going to
God.
add new guys for the new movies, but
Okay,
of the
so
existing people.
Aquaman is coming out, and I know that they have like one of his villains in it. I
Well,
think it
duh.
was the one with the stupid head. What's the name of him?
Black Manta.
Black Manta. That's the one. Um, I'm pretty sure Black Manta would be in it.
Well, that or Ocean Master. I feel like if it's an origin movie,
Or
it's going to be
Ocean
Ocean
Master.
Master.
Either or. I don't really care. I don't know much about them.
Ocean
other than
Master
their
is
Aquaman villains.
is
It's his
Aquaman's
brother?
half brother. Yeah, he's he's a
Half-brother.
full-blooded Atlantean.
Atlantean?
He's actual heir to
Gotcha.
the throne, except that
Gotcha.
Aquaman gets it.
Gotcha. Okay. So I think that one of those two for Aquaman is going to be in it. Obviously, we've got Lex Luthor and Deathstroke. So we've got the Superman villain and we've got the Batman villain. Wonder Woman, I think I remember reading that the villain in Wonder Woman 2 was going to be Cheetah.
Oh, okay.
So I'm guessing her
That's
because I can't.
honestly an underwhelming villain for the
Is it?
Wonder Woman we have.
Fair enough. I don't know. I don't know any Wonder Woman villains.
Well, they already kind of
and-
blew their load on Ares, so
Yeah, they did.
not that
And
he
I
would be in the
really,
league, but
I would really, really like it if he wasn't in the league
Yeah,
because I didn't
yeah.
like the guy they got to play Ares. Like, I don't want to see him be Ares again.
God,
Thank
you know
you
he
very
reminds me
much.
of fucking the Weasley's dad.
He reminds me of Nigel goddamn Thornberry. I said that in our Wonder Woman
Yeah,
review.
yeah,
He's
all right.
goddamn Nigel Thornberry, and I don't want to see Nigel Thornberry be the god of war. I'm sorry. I'm picky like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Jesus
Jeez,
Christ.
ease up,
All right.
Adam. Christ.
Sorry. I
Okay,
don't know,
but
it
all
just
right.
pissed
So
me off.
fine, Cheetah and Joker and Deathstroke.
Oh yeah, Joker.
Joker's got to be in there. He's
yeah.
got to be in there.
And while we're at it, I mean, Harley Quinn is super popular, so she'll
Fuck, you're
she'll
probably right.
probably
She probably
be
will be in
included
there.
in there. I
You
forgot
know what?
about
He might.
Suicide
Okay,
Squad.
they might want to include them. Like he's gonna ask them to be in it or something, and they're gonna be like, "Hugga hugga
Yeah.
no" or whatever. Which I'm fine with, because get those shitheads out of my movie. You know, I don't care.
Hey, you want to join our League of Injustice? Are you sweet talking me?
Yeah, no thank you. They can go ahead and not be part of my movie. As far as I'm concerned, all of Suicide Squad is in a non-canon
just-
thing. So,
They try to talk to him and he just growls at them.
and then they shoot him in the face. And then we can scrub him from our memories collectively.
Oh my god. All right.
We can keep
But
Harley Quinn, I
think
guess, just don't put her in the movie.
Harley Quinn, I liked her in Suicide Squad. I think that they might approach Deadshot, but I don't think he'd do it. At least this version of Deadshot, he seems to be kind of more of that.
Yeah,
like,
I don't think he would do it
like,
either. I don't know if
like
we're actually ever.
honorable
You know what,
thief
Adam?
kind of a
Honestly,
guy.
I don't think we're ever going to see the Suicide Squad people again. I
Oh,
don't.
are you kidding? I think we are. Oh, definitely.
Well, most
I
of
think
them.
we're gonna see the Suicide Squad. Even though a lot of people didn't like it, it made a lot of money.
Ugh.
Like it made a lot of money. It was very
Well,
popular.
let's just
I
complain enough,
definitely
and maybe they
think-
won't do it. But all right, now who else could be in? Well, all right, Sinestro could have been in it if the
Okay.
fact that there was a Green Lantern.
No
movie,
way.
But
That's
there's
not gonna
be.
happen. I think that the only person who I could think of might be in it in regards to Flash would be Reverse Flash. That would
No,
maybe.
I don't think it'd be. Reverse Flash is his own guy. I think it would have to be either Mirror Master or Captain Cold or something.
Captain Cold, I could see. I could see Captain Cold working if they wanted to do that.
Solomon
Mirror
Grundy
Master,
was
I
kind
think
of
is-
offhandedly mentioned when he said he spoke Gorilla Sign Language. Like we're all
Oh
supposed to
yeah,
fucking laugh at
that
you.
was a weird moment.
Yeah.
Like I was like, wait, so have you met him?
No,
yet?
it was a tongue-in-cheek thing, I'm sure, for us, but
Okay, I don't like it when tongue-in-cheek things don't make sense.
I know, Adam, I know, but
it bothers me.
I know,
Ugh.
but that's what it was, I'm sure. There's no way he met
Yeah.
Solomon Grundy. Wow, there's no way he met Gorilla Grodd yet. So I mean, it's
Yeah, no way.
But whatever. So I don't think
The only person we know that Flash has met so far as a superhero is Captain Boomerang. That's the only one that we know
yeah,
he
'cause he was
actually
actually in
interacted with.
Suicide Squad as a
Yeah, for like a total of 8 seconds.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was in it. He was there. I saw it.
Oh yeah, I guess
I
they could
see.
include Captain Boomerang. I suppose he's a Flash villain.
Fuck that. I don't want to
I know, I don't either, but I guess they could. They already got him on the payroll. Beats
I guess.
introducing a new person, I suppose.
I'm trying to think of. You could do Killer Croc. That could work.
Oh yeah, I bet you could. He's basically useless. I'm sure you could find a home for him. He could just be the punching guy. They need a punching guy in the team. There's no punching guys on the team. You know?
The only other Superman villain I could think of maybe working would be maybe if they did Metallo or okay, either
That's a Superman
Metallo.
2 villain that they gotta introduce first.
Yeah, I agree. Or maybe what's the other one? What's
Brainiac's
the
the other big
robot?
one, but it wouldn't be Brainiac.
Brainiac. That's
Brainiac
the
would
one.
never be part of the League.
Yeah,
He's got his
probably
own
not.
shit going on.
And I could and like I don't think they should introduce it in like a in like a Justice League 2, but if they wanted to do Bizarro, I think that might
Oh,
work.
I don't know if this world is ready for Bizarro yet.
But we already just got a acceptable Superman, so I don't really think that we need to see like a weird nega Superman quite
No.
yet.
No,
Because I
no,
think
no,
the
no,
Superman
no.
we got already was kind of a nega Superman in a way, so
Yeah.
I don't really need more of that.
Okay, all right.
Thank you
Let me
very
ask you
much.
this then, unrelated. Do you think we're gonna get a Supergirl in the Justice League, or are we just not? That's not a thing that's
I
gonna
mean,
happen.
Actually, I could see it. I could see
I
it.
could see it
I don't
too.
know how they're gonna introduce it, but
Well,
I
she
could
arrives at
see it
Earth later
working.
than Superman does. I mean, she could
Yeah,
just
I
show
mean,
up one day.
That's
I
true.
mean,
She could just show up. They could just do her origin movie, and it'd be perfectly acceptable, actually.
or just do what they did with Wonder Woman. Just drop her in the middle of somebody else's movie for the last 2 minutes.
Shut up! Don't give them any more
Hey,
ideas.
it's Shazam! Oh my God, a teenage girl fell out of the sky. Hi, I'm Supergirl. Okay. See you next
what
movie.
they really gotta do. I'm actually really glad that they decided to the way that they handled the after credit scene in Justice League. Like, I'm really glad that like Lex Luthor and Deathstroke weren't in the movie. They were just there as like a teaser at the end.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it, in my opinion. Yeah, it's okay to copy Marvel a little bit. Like, Marvel has their shit together.
Yeah.
You guys don't.
Yeah, copy off the
Like-
smart kid's homework.
exactly. Like, God. So
Also,
we're-
the Superman Flash race thing was kind of cute, but
Yeah,
could've done
I
without
thought
it.
it was fine. I thought it was fine. I liked Superman's little joke about like what was it? It was like, so if I win, you're out of the league, right?
Mhm.
And then Flash is just like, what? And he's just like, I'm kidding, Barry. Like I that's the kind of Flash Superman interaction that I want to see. So I appreciated that. Like I don't know. I liked it. It was good.
who do you think
Thumbs
won
up
the
there.
race though, Adam?
Oh my God, Flash.
You think so?
Well, okay, I guess maybe not. This is like a very well-established Superman, a very, very powerful Superman, and this is also a very young Flash who probably doesn't have a very strong connection to the Speed Force yet. So, I'll say this: I want Flash to win. Because, in my opinion, if Superman is just as fast as Flash,
Then what's the point of
that
Flash? Yeah, that's kind of the
that
inherent
negates
issue.
the purpose of Flash. Like Flash, like I remember reading, like I didn't actually read the comic, but I saw like the images of it online. Like it was just like a clip of the comic.
Of the Superman Flash race.
Or yeah, of the comic version of that,
Yep.
where it was like Superman was running after Flash, and he's just like, we've raced before, Barry. Like I've even won a couple of times. And then Flash just looks at him, and he's just like, I was holding back, Clark. And then he just like bursts away, and he's just gone. And Superman's just like, oh shit. Oh shit. Like that's kind of the Flash I prefer. I prefer the idea that Flash is super crazy fucking fast and that
Yeah, I would
Superman
like for Flash to be faster too, but in the same vein, the Superman that we have established, I mean, generally speaking anyway, and the one we have in this movie particularly, is basically the question is, why do we have anybody else? Because, okay, Wonder Woman can punch stuff real strong, but Superman does it better, and Flash runs fast, but Superman does it better, and Batman's rich. Superman doesn't do that better, but that's basically the only other thing. I mean, Aquaman didn't even really use any magic in this one, which is the only thing Superman can't do. So I mean,
the only other thing is Cyborg
Cyborg's
has
braining,
that whole
but
yeah.
it is established, however rarely it comes up, that Superman can think way faster than most living things. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of killing him off. That was why they
well,
did
that
it.
is exactly why they did,
because
so they could actually make this movie happen. But you
Yeah.
know, it just whatever. It's just whatever. This movie's fine. That's
yeah,
really what
so
it
I
comes
guess
down to.
We're kind of going off into these like grand tangents, but to kind of bring this back down to where it should be. So Justice League, just this movie by itself, it's fine. It's
See it if you wanna.
It's acceptable. Like I'm just like, you know, I like the characters are likable and the plot's decent enough. It's fine.
And if you like
And
watching superheroes explode bad guys, then have we got the treat for you, man?
yeah, and I
Basically, okay,
feel
basically the
bad.
entire movie is that one part of Avengers 2 where they fight all those Ultron clones. That's the whole movie. Just
Yeah,
it's
yeah, kind of.
loud and
Actually,
breaky.
since you brought up Avengers 2, in my opinion, I would say that this movie is maybe on par, maybe slightly better than Avengers 2. What do you think? That's
Yeah,
kind of where I place it.
yeah, I'll meet you there.
Yeah, like I think Avengers is better than this movie, but I would say if I had to pick which is better, Age of Ultron or Justice League, I'm gonna give the slight edge to Justice
Yeah,
League.
I suppose if I had to pick one I wanted to watch right now, I think the good parts of Justice League outshine the relative modernity that is just Avengers
The
2.
the one thing that I think that Justice League does better than the original Avengers is I think that Justice League does a better job balancing all the different characters. With I mean, I other than Superman, obviously, who shows up right
Well,
near
he
the
makes up
end.
for it there, doesn't he?
But he does get a great scene there. And but like I feel like all of the main characters of Justice League, you know, Batman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, Flash, and Aquaman, all get like they all feel
Equal billing.
relatively equal. Yeah, they're equal billing exactly. Like I feel like they're all the main characters
I
of the
would agree with
movie.
that. I mean,
Which is
the
not
inherent
something.
problem with that is like we were talking about, where they're not all fleshed out, but they do all share the spotlight. Whereas Avengers
Yeah,
kind of picks two or three favorites, and everyone else is in the back row.
yeah.
But
Like in the original Avengers, it was basically the Iron Man show with cameo appearances from everybody else. I mean, shit. Hawkeye spent the majority of the Avengers mind controlled. You know what I mean? Like, I
yep.
mean, when you think about it, like it was really weird the way they handled that. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like, I don't know,
But to be
but
fair, he spent his
I still,
introduction movie sitting in a like a a crow's nest. So
yeah. Which wasn't an introduction movie. It was a
yeah,
cameo. That's all he
yeah.
got.
But that's all he
It was a
gets.
cameo. I mean,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah. But
yeah,
that's enough on Avengers. We're on the DC trip right now. So
yeah.
I think we're good here, Adam. I think we've
I
said
agree.
our
I think we're
piece
I think
and
we're
talked
about
what we
ready
need to talk.
to give our number on it. I'm aiming for a 7. How do you feel about a 7?
Uh Not
I could go lower if
entirely
necessary.
comfortable with it because we gave other things 7 that I feel were better than this.
That's true.
I would shoot for 6.5. I think
I,
that's
I
fair.
think 6.5 is appropriate. I remember that way back when, back in our previous show, we gave Batman v Superman a 6, and I think that since this is better than
This is
that,
better
I
than
think
that.
I think 6.5 is appropriate.
Yep.
I if I was feeling really generous and like nice, I'd give it a 7. But
I
I think
would
six and a
maybe
half
be able to
is,
meet you at 7 if you were really adamant about it, but
Nah, I'm not. I'm not. I'm very about
okay,
it.
then I'm gonna
I'll
I'm
say
gonna plant my
six and a
feet
half.
firmly at 6.5.
I think that's an appropriate number.
All right.
But still, that's not bad.
No, that's
like,
not bad.
Like that's not bad.
Room for improvement.
That's yeah. Like there's room for improvement, but it has been improved
Yeah,
from the last
they're
one.
getting there.
Yeah,
It's
like
honestly kind of a shame this movie didn't do well because we might not get a chance for them to actually reach their potential before they just quit.
yeah. It's like okay, we've got Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad, which are both trash, basically. I mean, basically.
Yeah, basically.
It's really funny. Every time I talk about Batman v Superman, people are just like, "So did you like it?" I'm just like, I don't know how to answer that question.
That's a complicated issue. Let me consult my notes and get back to you.
like I don't know if I like that movie or not. I can't answer that. But then we got Wonder Woman, which was pretty good, which
Yeah,
was
we're
great.
all in agreement.
Actually. It was
We like
very
that one.
solid. And then we got this one, which is still pretty good. It's all right. It's fine. But I'm worried now. I'm worried that we're not going to get a chance for this universe to really take off, you know?
Yeah.
This should have been like a huge thing. This should have been a huge moment. And it really wasn't.
Yeah,
it was just
this really
kind
should
of
have
like
been
a
the
shrug.
bugle blowing triumphant dance of the the victors, but this was really more of like a it's kind of like the movie DC is in a hospice and they're starting to recover, but shit, funding's running out, so we're gonna have to pull the plug soon. To use a very macabre analogy, but
yeah, that's a decent analogy. Like it's just the whole thing just sucks. I feel so uncomfortable about the whole thing because it's just like no, like you're finally starting to improve and no one is giving you credit
Yeah,
for that. And it's
yeah.
like, no. Like,
Really, the issue is like ultimately they're not improving fast enough
I agree. That is definitely the biggest
because
problem.
they're working it
It's like
out, but
in many ways this movie feels like too little too late. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's
that's
like,
yeah, that's
you
exactly
had
what
your
happened.
chance, you blew it, and it doesn't
Hmm.
matter that you made this one a bit
Yep.
better because you already
We
fucked up
we trusted you 4 times prior, and you delivered on the fourth one.
once. Yeah, on the third, or yeah, the fourth one. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right. You delivered on the fourth
but
one,
by that
and then
point,
on this
damage had
fifth,
been done. You know.
at this one, it's just kind of like a lukewarm, like yeah, fine. But that's not good enough in a lot of
Yeah.
ways. Like I didn't want to walk out of this movie and say, yeah, it was fine, I guess. Like I wanted to walk out of this movie being like, yeah, oh my
Yeah, this
god.
this was
Like
supposed to be it. The little weak kid finally stood up to the sneering bullies and said, "Look, I can do it too." But nope, just a fart in the wind. You know, not nothing powerful about it, and that's a shame because I think we're anthropomorphizing this company a little bit too much. But god damn it, I really wanted them to win. I wanted them to have a
did.
win.
I mean, they did get Wonder Woman.
Yeah, no,
which is
I know.
We're
but
talking
Wonder
way
Woman's
too
one
much.
thing,
Oh my
but
god.
this is their like, at the time of writing anyway, their magnum opus. This was supposed to
Yeah.
be the nail. The one to
Yeah,
end all things.
this was the culmination. This was it, and it was just kind of fine.
Yep,
It's fine.
and that's
Which sucks.
That's a damn shame, is what that is.
Really freaking sucks. But here's hoping that the next one, Aquaman, can be better. You know what's really shitty about it? We don't get Aquaman until next December. That's when the next one gets released. So for an entire year, the only like movie we have to talk about is this movie,
Ooh,
and
that's gonna put a lot of bad flavors in people's mouth. They should move that up. If it's actually done, they should move up the release on that one because
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
that's just like sabotage to yourself. That you can't leave a bad taste in somebody's mouth for a whole year. No one's gonna want to come to see your movie after a year. I mean, I'm gonna see it, but I'm not everybody.
All right. So those are the complaints this week. If you can't complain, share it with your friends. Bye.